Have you started?
Yeah, it's been recording this whole time.
Oh,
I said we have 94 minutes of storage left.
oh, girl, I thought that you just wanted to go start so it was ready.
No.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Okay.
Oh my god! Hi everyone, I'm back with another video. Here with a special guest, and this is my sister Jadean.
Hey y'all, it's Jadean. I'm just Jolynn's older sister, 22 years old, living my best life.
Today we are talking about toxicity, and I feel like everyone covers this topic, but they never talk about it like yourself. No one talks about it in themselves.
Yeah.
It's always like, oh, all these people are toxic, but you fall in line somewhere.
Yeah.
There, if you don't
admit
do your own,
admit your own toxicity.
My first side note is that we never sat down and talked to the camera before, so be gentle with us.
Because it's new.
Right. She never been in a YouTube video at all, so. We're just talking about recognizing your own, sorry if you see me looking down, I have notes. Recognizing your own toxic traits and growing from them. While my sister learns how to cornrow hair, locks specifically. For the last 10 or 15 minutes, she's been doing her research.
Yeah, she's been watching YouTube videos. Shout out to the YouTubers I was watching that was helping us out. So we're gonna see how this go when we make this thing shake.
So we're gonna get right into it. Okay, so what is like the biggest thing that you notice in your own toxicity? Like, whenever I'm doing this, I need to check myself.
I think one of the biggest things that's really, really toxic that I do is I don't listen. I'm right. When I think I'm right, I have a really hard time. How do I put this? We could be arguing. Say I'm dealing with somebody, we're arguing. I don't care about what you have to say. I'm gonna get out what I want to get out, and I'm gonna just have what you say go in one ear and out the other. And that's horrible, because that's how a lot of stuff hits the fan, because you're not gonna understand what they're saying, you're not gonna get their point of view, and you're not gonna work things out. You're just gonna be mad and continue on. I feel like a lot of the things that I have encountered in the past is because I don't listen. That was a really big thing of mine.
I would say in my own, one of the biggest things, because I don't know, maybe you can attest to this, but I definitely feel like I wasn't the same person I was like before this all started.
Before what, the pandemic?
Like, yeah, the pandemic, before senior year. Like, I did a lot of growth my senior year of high school, and I would say my biggest thing now is, because I'm obviously not perfect, I'll never be perfect, but
why did I forget to braid for a second? I'm really looking like
that's right. But my biggest, I would say, toxic thing I do is assume. Like,
yeah.
Before I even get into the situation, I'm like, this is how it's gonna be. Like, when it's not what I expect it to be, it's like, nope, my world ends, everything shut down. But I feel like I've done that forever. But I think I had a lot of other things before that was just like, it's less now. Do you need rubber bands?
No.
Like, for the end?
I get. I mean, it's not gonna just unbraid itself. Let me see how it goes after I finish this one.
I think the next thing I want to cover is like being harsh on yourself, but not too harsh. I think a lot of people, obviously it's never easy to look in the mirror, but like why so many people discuss toxicity in other people or their toxic traits is because they know it's uncomfortable looking at themselves. And I think establishing the fact that it's not going to be easy. It shouldn't be easy. Like, you shouldn't look at yourself and be like, well, this is a perfect picture. Like, I don't want you to hate it. Don't hate it. But, like, to think that there's no room to grow is where I think a lot of people go wrong. I've gone wrong in the past.
I feel like a lot of people blame their toxicity, blame others for their own toxicity. Now, granted, there are situations where you're dealing with someone who you may claim is toxic, and it brings out your toxicity. Definitely. But you have to also address the fact, with or without that person, you had that within you. Moving forward, it's like you can't blame every single issue of your toxic traits because of someone else.
Right.
I was guilty of doing that. The past person I was with, I was just like, I wasn't this way before I met him, and he's the reason I'm like this. Granted, I did learn a lot of things while we were together, and I feel like some traits I did pick up on because of what we went through. But before and after him, there were certain things that didn't change, and that was my own toxicity. That was my own thing that I learned about myself throughout that relationship. You can't, I feel like a lot of people blame that on other people, and I'm just like, nah, sis, that's you. That's who you is.
I think that's one of the things I'm kind of like looking out for in the future, because I've done all this growth or whatever, and I'm sure a bunch of people have everywhere, because the world literally stopped. But when the world opens back up, I don't want to just go back to who I was before. Like, I haven't tried out this new me.
True. I feel like right before the pandemic, I was moving so fast. Like, I was to the point where I knew I was gonna chill on my toxicity. I was at a better spot. Like, I was finna test out, how I was gonna be with me relaxing on my toxicity. So this pandemic hit.
Right.
And then this pandemic hit, and I was just like, so how am I gonna act when there isn't a pandemic? Because I still feel like I'm relaxed. I feel like it's ways where I know, like, I can feel. It's been situations even now, like during this time where I'm talking to people and they're like, they'll flare up. Like, I'll feel myself ready to be like, oh, be on my toxicity thing. But then I was like, wait, because we was working on this. So let's remember that we was working on this so that we ain't gotta bring that thing out. It's definitely a battle. Sometimes you just really want to be like, this and that, and I'm right always, and this and that, because I don't blame you. Like, there's certain things where I assume only because, but I don't assume right off the bat. I'll sit back and just let it play out. And then when I start seeing that 2 and 2 is equal and 4 and 4 and 4 is equal and 8, I'm about to draw my conclusion. Sometimes it ain't. You think it's 2 plus 2, but it's really 1.5 plus 2, because you don't have the other 0.5%. You don't know what that is yet. You just know what you see. And then when you finally, that plays into me listening to what they gotta say, that's where that other 0.5 come from. And now 2 plus 2 is equal in the right for it. If you get what I'm saying, like, I feel like sometimes I'm guilty. I'm definitely been guilty of assuming and looking stupid. Gigi and Mama be saying sometimes, assuming that you're gonna make an ass of yourself.
Yeah.
I don't wanna do that.
What is it? Because it's literally in the name.
Yeah.
It's like assuming it's of you and me.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'm definitely working on. Pretty excited for as well. Like, I'm excited whenever the world opens up. In no rush, because people have been in a rush and we saw where that got us. I don't like that, because that's pushing me back and back from
when I could finally be free again.
I would have my Zoom lunch today with Amaya, and we were both kind of like, I don't think we're going back in the spring.
I applaud you for your endurance, though, with everything that's going on, because with me, I know with my mindset in 2016, and they was to tell me I ain't going to school because of the pandemic, child, I ain't gonna tell them where I would be right now, because...
And I think to a degree, that's what, I'm not saying people my age should be doing that, but why would you expect them to do anything different when that's all they know? Okay, you're gonna open up the campus back up, but that is a space of normalcy. That's what I'm used to. This is what I'm gonna do while I'm there. Like,
yeah,
they can't just be expected to know how to adapt like adults would or anything like that. Now, it is their job to some degree also to educate them and be like, okay, this isn't good for me or anyone else. But to assume that, like, I opened up my campus, I took the necessary protocols and everything, and now everyone's here, you shouldn't just assume that those kids, because they are still kids, are gonna just be like, yep, this is exactly how everything is, and I'm just gonna follow it.
Dude, and it's not even necessarily all the kids. It's kind of like,
it's adults too.
24-year-olds talking about, I'm finna get up in the streets. Like, no, the streets are at rest. Relax. Need none of that right now, son. The streets will be there when the streets open back up, but right now y'all need to chill out.
It hurts that, like, maybe we won't be back in the spring. Of course, we're gonna still hope and pray for us to be back in the spring. But on the same time, like, college is 4 years. I still have a life to live after that. And if I'm so busy trying to get to Howard that it gets me sick and I don't even get to see what comes after, then I'll be real upset. So, to a degree, of course, I'm understanding. But not everyone has this understanding. I don't think most people do at 18. Because it's kind of like, I just want to get to the next step. And you don't know how the situation is, so they really probably did need to get out of the house.
Right. A lot of people are dealing with. So I understand why a lot of kids are like, no, like, I want to be in school. I want to be doing this and that. Because a lot of people come from broken homes.
Right.
And having to be stuck with the people in your broken home, people who are hurting you, people who are bringing you down, they not, all the negative energy, with everything going on in 2020, you don't want to be in that mess. So the fact that you're forced to is really hard. I don't blame the want, but at the end of the day, I'd rather it be a case where you're safe.
Right.
You know, and instead of me just wanting to be out on game.
We have drifted a little bit, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Tips of like how to, how to get past your toxicity, and knowing that it's an everyday battle. Like it's not gonna be one day where you're like, yep, this is it. This is my final form. It's not how it works. So one thing I've learned is, I just wrote it. It says alone but not lonely, because if you don't know who you are before you step into a situation with anyone else, it's gonna go awry. Communicating is in all caps on my notes, and basically it just says to ask yourself in whatever relationship you're in if you are benefiting them as much as they benefit you, if there's any benefit at all. And if there's not, it's time to exit. But if there is benefit, then you should, like, since it's about toxicity in yourself, you should make sure that you are putting in as much as you're getting out.
I definitely agree on communication part. I missed some of it because I was really focusing on it.
I was saying, just to make sure that if there's a benefit, like if this is a beneficial relationship, and they're like, whoever, if it's a friendship, whatever, your friend is pouring so much into you, make sure you're pouring something back.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. And I'm not one to, especially because this is a whole internet thing, I'm not gonna just put everybody's name out there. I definitely understand that 100%, because I was in a relationship where communication was the worst. I ain't gonna lie, another one of my toxic traits that I can admit to is me not being able to communicate. And then now we're just sitting here just with a big old elephant in the room, can't get around it. Like, and that's horrible, trying to, expecting that person to know when you don't tell them.
Right.
So going from there, I feel like communication is a really big thing, because I feel like it has to have equal sides when it comes to communicating. If someone's giving, you need to give too, and not being able to do so bothers, and it just messes things up. Whether that's a friendship or a relationship, it's, if you can't communicate these problems aloud, like adults trying to figure out what the issue is and keep it pushing, it's gonna make stuff really bad.
Well, in my experience, it was me just assuming that, like, this is how they feel. All right, that's good. Assuming doesn't make up for actually asking the question, because you don't know. Like, these are humans. You don't know. As complex as I am, the next person is just complex. There's no room for just assumed knowledge. And then my other tip was journaling. I've been writing for forever, but like to actually sit down and write my thoughts was like something that changed my life, because in my head I'm like, okay, if I just think it out, then like it'll be fine. I can wrap it up. But then it's the way my brain never stops. So I kind of have to like physically write it down, write all of it down or whatever, whether I read it again, whether I rip it up at the end, whatever. I have to get it out of my head and then be like, okay, this was the end of that. Now my brain is done, like, thinking about it. And I think a lot of people should take it up, because, I mean, I feel like in a way, in pop culture, it kind of seems like you have to have, like, all these, like, pens, you know, and stuff like that. It's got to be all this pretty stuff. It's like, no, I have a pencil. I write out all this stuff, everything that's going on in my brain, whether it flows or not. Like, no one's reading this. I'm not turning this in. And then just ending it where my thoughts in and being like, okay, I don't need to dwell on this. It doesn't need to keep me up at night where I think of a bunch of scenarios, because I do that. So, have you tried journaling? Or?
No. Only because I'm not a strong writer, so I don't feel like, so, I mean, unless certain people do need to do that. I know I tried. Do what's best for you, honestly, because for me, I have to talk. I was in the car talking. I was like, I should have said this, I should have said that. But once it was out, I was like, huh, all right.
I think in that regards is what I'm saying is, if you haven't tried it, try it. If it doesn't work, move on, because I don't think that it does work for everyone. You definitely have to know what's best for you. And in your case, I would say that, like, maybe voice memos, maybe just recording what you say and like not keeping it or not keeping it, whatever. Maybe that helps more than just. But like, it's whatever your outlet is, because writing helps me, but writing may not help the next person.
Yeah.
Or painting or drawing or whatever.
Right, I used to color, you know, as a just, it may seem childish, but honestly, there's adult color books.
There are.
And
there's some right there.
And you can just color and color and color till it makes you just be at ease in your mind. That's another thing too. I mean, finding a little niche to keep you calm.
Right.
So that you don't go and do one of them things that you find really toxic.
My last tip is prayer. I would say pray to what works for you, because the way I express my own Christianity may not be what works for you, may not be how you connect. Whether it's, you know, maybe I don't know who it is because I've never done this before, but whoever is up there, this is what I'm dealing with, you know, at least saying it, because I think that helps. Or is that's similar?
It's me.
Same degree the way you have to talk out loud to get it.
Right,
like
yeah.
that would be another way to talk out loud.
Hey, big guy. I know it's been a minute. It's just, you know, how you feel that you need to address the situation. And I feel like regardless, he's listening.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, no matter what is going on, he there, he's seeing it, he's listening.
Right.
So I feel like when talking to him, talk to him like you need to. I talk to him like he one of the homies. Like, hey man, I ain't seen you in a minute, but we need to talk.
Also, this is a side note, but my brain went into a tunnel today because I was trying to write my speech, and I said something about God, and then it followed up with he, and I was like, why would I? He? God a man, I don't get it. I'm not gonna subject him to this gender stuff. My side note, but yeah, I think he's always working on it, and for me, it provided a lot of clarity because I'm like, well, this is how it's supposed to be, because in my head I have all these expectations.
Yeah.
And then when I actually get in the situation, he made me mold me in a way so I can be like, you know what, that's not how it is, and this is how I get better from then on. So, are you feeling like you're doing well? Or
it's going. It's braided back here. It may not be as neat as one would like, but it's here.
Right. I feel like maybe it's not the normal status, but I personally know a lot of black girls who can cornrow. Like, I didn't know how to cornrow until I got locks, because it was like, okay, now I'm not taking sections of hair. This is just a lock.
All that being said,
because a lot was said.
With all that being said, everyone has a bit of toxicity in them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something to beat yourself up over. It's not something to blame someone else for either. So I just feel like addressing it, you have to be able to address. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to address your toxicity. You have to be able to know this is me. This is what I do. I need to work on this, because who is gonna want to put up with this?
Be the expectation of a friend that you want. You can't expect greatness if you don't want to put yourself to the same expectation.
That part.
So, sorry, I really have hiccups. Work on yourself, because first, the number one person that's going to benefit is you. Then it's going to benefit everything else that comes into your life, whether that be people, situations, job, whatever your next step is. As long as you have aligned yourself with where you think is best, then all of that is just like, oh, that's easy. I know how to tackle that problem. My mirror. A little bit scaled.
Okay.
Back like that.
No, the other way.
Well, here's the thing. I don't hate it. I really don't.
It's flat, you know?
Right. Compared to what you did on Sunday, this is a lot better. I do enjoy this. I feel like, what was it? Bow wow. I do feel like a little bow wow.
Say it out.
Hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is my sister.
It's been great.
Do you want me to leave your socials?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be in the description, but
Corey,
I love you, girl.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you next week. Definitely like and share, because I brought my sister and I don't know who my sister is. Thank you so much.
GOAT.
See you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Okay, so here's clips just in case you need them, as you should. If you watch the video.
Oh god. We're gonna see how this go, because this might be a fail. I'm gonna be able to talk and not be able to produce braids.
And say something reckless just to be saying stuff.
Why? It's kind of burning.
Because your lips is shut. You need more water.
Duh, shut up.
Jason! Calm down! You too loud! Way too loud!
We all up in here.